Good morning, honorable judges. Let me introduce myself. My name is Keira Tulfia. I am the first speaker of the opposition team. The motion today is this House believes that history textbooks should focus on teaching bottom up historiography rather than top down historiography. Honorable judges, I would like to rebuttal the arguments from the motion today. This House believes that history textbooks should focus on teaching bottom up historiography rather than top down historiography as the following. 1. The opposing team believes that telling all the victims' perspective will foster peace. However, in a post-conflict country that is still fragile, highlighting the narrative of each group's suffering risks reopening old wounds and exacerbating polarization. If history textbooks focus on the operation of Group A and by Group B, it will instill intergenerational hatred in schools. Therefore, a top-down narrative that emphasizes national reconciliation and shared future is much safer for maintaining national stability. 2. Teaching history from a bottom-up perspective is technically too complex and overwhelming for students at the school level. The material demands high-level critical thinking skill to process trauma. In contrast, a top-down approach provides a clear structure for the formation of institutions, laws, and state sovereignty. For countries emerging from conflict, a top priority is ensuring students understand the functions of the state and respect government institution to prevent future chaos. 3. The main weakness of bottom-up historiography is its highly subjective and fragmented nature. If each region of our group has its own version of history based on individual memories, we will lose a national standard of truth. Without top down historiography that provides structure and context, students will be confused because there is no common thread uniting them as a nation. We need a central narrative to ensure who are we as a nation, not just what happened to my group. Honorable judges, I have four arguments that against the motion today. 1. Lack of context and perspective. This can lead to a narrow, partial understanding of historical events. 3. 2. Inaccurate or biased representation. Without a strong narrative framework, can be prone to inaccuracies, biases, and myths perpetuated by local communities. 3. Difficulty in creating a cohesive narrative. A top-down historiography can provide a shared understanding of the past, essential for building national identity and unity. 4. Lack of expertise and resources. Top-down historiography, often developed by established scholars and institutions, can provide a more reliable and authoritative framework for teaching history. Honorable judges, from, from the rebuttal and the arguments stated above, I can conclude that 1. We must convince that the state are managed to rebuild national institutions like the legislative and executive government. When the government has been rebuilt, the state will be strong and powerful. This can be achieved by teaching top-down historiography. 2. I believe that top-down historiography provides a clear and simple story for all communities. that will be a good foundation for the citizen. 3. I am sure that top-down historiography will unite the citizen all over the state to have strong national identity. Therefore, history textbooks should focus on teaching top-down historiography rather than bottom-up historiography. That's all. Thank you.